Well, I think my choice is the choice of the British people want us all to make, Yvette, and that is, as far as we possibly can, to lay aside party political point scoring and to put the national interest first, and to be very clear with the British public about what we want to do and how we want to take this country forward.
As you heard there, the Prime Minister clearly wants to stick with his advisor, try and ride this out. The criticism and concern really is that in doing so, he risks undermining trust in the government at such a crucial time for public health.
Okay, Harry Live in London, thank you. Well, next, a new study seen exclusively by ITV News has found that South Africa COVID-19 and are 42% more likely to die from it than white patients. Well, this, of course, has been an ongoing conversation, with two other larger studies arriving at similar conclusions for other minority groups. But as hospitals begin to pass through their first peak of infections, doctors say this could help decide how to prioritise the very complex needs of survivors. Vidya Rajan explains. Vidya Mansari is living in the aftermath of COVID-19. He holds the TV remote with his left arm because the right arm is numb. Sleep are also more tired than they used to be. There are signs of a man who spent 24 days in ITU fighting for his life. But the worst is perhaps the invisible battles he faced.
The nightmares that ICU gives you and that put you to sleep, it's terrible. I even said to one of the nurses, I'll kill my son, I'll kill myself. And she kept me saying,
But daylight 39 years, waking up to the 14 kilos, and his body had been beaten continually.
Your body is what you want. I said, if you can walk, you can stairs, exercise, then you have to go home. Even my wife and my head, your body's here. Why stay? Right. You will not do it.
And make it home he did. But he's not alone in experiencing such an aggressive form of the disease. In a study seen exclusively by ITV, doctors say South Asian patients are more likely to have a severe form of the disease. More than 2,000 COVID-19 were involved in the study, and things like age, sex, social deprivation, and pre-existing medical conditions were taken into account. They found that South Asian patients were 42% more likely to die from COVID-19 than white patients. South Asians were also twice as likely to develop severe symptoms. They were also nearly 2.5 times more likely to require treatment on intensive care wards.
There's been a lot of concern that people from BAME ethnic groups are doing worse because they're not coming into hospital, they're not seeking medical help at the same time. And our study from our population suggests this isn't the case. They come to hospital at roughly the same time as the other group, but they do appear to have more severe symptoms.
Much of the conversation around COVID-19 has been about the death toll, but as we go forward and this hospital and many others around the country targeting their first wave of infections, the question now is, how do we treat survivors? As more South Asian patients who've had a severe form of the disease are admitted to rehab wards like this one, doctors say change is needed as the demand of complex care has to be met.
We've obviously had more people than we would expect in the ward from South Asian communities, which we didn't have 3-4 weeks ago, 2 months ago. And I think often a lot of the ways we work is going to have to change, that we prioritise the complex needs of patients.
The staff are under no illusion of just how complex the recovery can be.
Apart from that, a lot of psychological needs, there's quite a lot of anxiety and post-traumatic from having COVID. I think from a respiratory point of view, a lot of them are requiring oxygen more than they would have required before.
The government have launched a review into the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities. But as we wait for clarity, COVID-19 will continue taking its toll on the living. Vidya Rajan, ITV News. Well, still to come, we're in Lincolnshire where a town hall has been given a whole new purpose. Yes, it may look like a textiles factory, but it is in fact Volunteer HQ here in Horncastle, where local people have been working day in, day out to create scrubs for our region's health personnel. And May ending on a high, quite literally. Moving forward, plenty of clear blue sky and boosted temperatures. An online gambling company has apologised to his Sheffield family whose son took his own life after losing tens of thousands of pounds. 25-year-old Chris Booney gambled more than £100,000 in the days before his death. Instead of closing his account, the betting company winner offered him thousands in cash prizes. Following an 18-month investigation, the Gambling Commission said there were multiple failures and ordered the site to pay a £60,000 fine. The company says it has since invested in making sure the same thing doesn't happen again.
This is systematic, inducing them to continue to do what harms them. And what happened was, over a period of 5 days, they literally hounded this young man to death.
The Health and Safety Executive is to prosecute the operators of Lightwater Valley Theme Park near Ripon after a 7-year-old boy was left in a life-threatening condition last year when he fell off a ride. The bank holiday weekend saw North Yorkshire Police issue 52 fines for breaches of coronavirus regulations. 39 were handed out in the Scarborough area, where groups of people from different households were found socialising together.
I wish these brats are going to put rubbish into the bin.
So
look, Flora,
what he did. Not going to sell that way, yeah. I don't even know what to do.
Oh, bless
He followed me out and get it shut. Get all this lot picked up now, the pair of you.
Oh,
How? So people can walk around and visit shops safely as some lockdown measures are eased.
oh, your bones are
Threatening more pavements and
said our
sidewalks
bones
to
are
ensure the 2-metre rule can be maintained.
Get in there.
You gonna hit me?
I know I'm going to hit you. Get in there and get that rubbish in the bin.
Oh, I found a sweet. I found a sweet.
Oi, oi!
See? Yeah.
Good, get in there. Isn't that yours?
No, that's yours.
I put mine in bin.
Flat
No, you
owners living
didn't.
in
And is that sweet wrapper empty?
cladding
I
say
forget
that
to
it's
throw it
being
on my bin.
fund to pay for it.
It's crying.
Abby
That
Tudor's Leeds says she's trapped
Oh, I
in her
does,
house,
doesn't it?
not knowing that it was unsafe.
I'd go to bed and cry.
Abby Tubis is this close to the unsafe
I was
cladding
trying.
which makes her home
Don't
for
get
those
chocolate
others
bar,
a potential
Rose.
death trap. This is where she lives with her partner. They pay for fire wardens to patrol all night in case they have to escape through here, down from the 9th floor.
I've been drinking lots today.
Fire escape. It's unbelievable. We will have
Shut up, Bella!
Drink absolute lots today.
and buying a house and start a family, but we can't sell. You go to bed at night and you could potentially get woken
Oh,
up
wow,
by
my hair is
someone
already
banging on
falling.
the door. It's our one we can watch man going to run up to the
That's
top
last
floor and knocking everyone's door while they're sleeping so that's all to evacuate.
Oh,
Just short of 3 years since the Grenfell fire killed 72 people,
Somebody has
the
that, or
government
somebody has
has
a
set up
Kit
a
Kat.
£1 billion campaign
I'm having that.
for others living in buildings they never knew were unsafe. Abby says that's not enough.
For £1 billion for the country for private and social housing, it is.
Ah, my eye.
Why? What's up? You crying?
The government has
No,
promised
something's
to put a bill for
It's got
private
tears.
high-rise blocks and urge
That
building owners
hurt,
to
didn't it?
carry out the work soon. But one MP says
Yeah,
setting a
well, you
deadline
threw
to
that thing at me and that
hurt won't give everyone the assurances they need.
What happens to people when the money
My
is
eye.
So it'll be, you know what happened to me when I started doing
what
mine.
happens if the freeholder or the managing agent
No,
doesn't get an
put some
application
water in it.
in time? So, although this is a welcome step,
Don't wash your
forward,
face with
it's
some
not
cold
enough,
water.
and it will
Get
leave
some water
people
into your
with
eyes.
huge bills they can't afford for a proper next
Months into now.
Abby says what should have been good news has left her life and those of thousands of others on hold. Katie Oscroft, ITV News, Leeds.
I think it's like
Well, next tonight, a Lincolnshire nurse who was struck down with coronavirus and fought for her life in the intensive care unit that she managed for more than 20 years
has paid tribute to her colleague who helped her to survive.
She's been
Sue Nelson was given a guard of honour by her workmates as she left hospital, and today she caught up with her friend, a fellow nurse, who walked her out of the hospital to a round of applause. John Hill reports.
A moment of sheer relief for staff at Scunthorpe General Hospital as they bid a happy farewell to a patient who was also a colleague and a friend. Sue Nelson had been left so disorientated by the virus that for much of the time she didn't realise just how ill she'd been. Her nursing friends, like Emily Bexton, seen here guiding her from the hospital, knew only too well that Sue had been fighting for her life.
It was such an emotional and stressful time for the staff looking after Sue. I have to say they handled it remarkably, so professional, but the emotional side of things, looking after a colleague, a team member, but a friend as well, it really did hit the staff hard. I'm getting there slowly, but if I'm honest, it's slower than I thought.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's kind of like it is going to take time.
Twice, Sue tested negative for the virus, but her colleagues knew she was very ill. And the third test, which was positive, proved their fears right.
I'm going to watch somebody in a minute.
Yes, definitely. I had a conversation with my husband and my daughter, and at one point they'd been spoken to by one of the senior doctors in the intensive care unit, who said that they may have to put me on a ventilator where they put a tube down my throat, and they had warned that the outcome might not be very good.
Sue spent almost 3 weeks in hospital, and she now knows she has Emily and her colleagues to thank for the recovery.
They were very, very supportive. Emily, like I say, I don't remember being
Monday's on bloody Thursday.
And I know how
but it's still no rush. I've just washed all their clothes
she
anyway.
was able to sort of guide him. She's
I want
lived
some
and
Marnia
breathed the
night
NHS,
Zoom
and she's lived and
flies.
breathed being an
I won't wear clothes now.
My legs are gorgeous.
It's definitely got to do with Pegasus.
Around that day, that knew that she was going home, and they just wanted to come down and wish her well and just tell her how happy they were that she was going home and she got through this, and you know, and give her the clap and the discharge home.
I was just watching Harvey's mum with Benji.
Emily Bexton ending that report by John Hill and receiving all the best in her recovery.
Kissing his ears.
Throughout this pandemic, we've seen the power that communities can have when they pull together for a common cause, none more so than in Horncastle, where a group making scrubs for hospital staff has gone from a handful of volunteers to nearly 400. Emma Wilkinson is live now in Horncastle to explain. Emma.
Yes, you would be forgiven for thinking this is an established textiles factory. It is a well-oiled machine. We've got Irene and Lyra here in dispatch, various people cutting and sewing. We've got Lorraine over there in quality control and Hayden here on social media. But they are all volunteers, and everything here has been donated, whether it's old fabric from people's airing cupboards or from further afield. The DJ Chris Evans and his son Noah have donated fabric here 3 times. It has been a mammoth community effort, and one that has seen them create 1,500 sets of scrubs for healthcare workers in our region.
It's hard to believe that just 6 weeks ago, this was merely an idea. Today, from here and from their homes, a dedicated team, dozens strong, is making scrubs, bags, face coverings and patient gowns.
It's just unreal. It's blows your mind. That started off with a box outside my house about 6 weeks ago, and now we've just got all these people, you know, every day, more volunteers coming to help. It's amazing. We were only making a few a week at the very beginning, and now we're making over 100 a day.
This crisis has meant many healthcare staff that wouldn't ordinarily wear scrubs are choosing to, sometimes multiple sets a day. So around the country, volunteers like these are helping boost the supply. Lorraine is a retired intensive care nurse and gets regular updates on how gratefully received these items are.
I get to know what's going on and how uncomfortable and how awful it is with the PPE equipment. And it's just some of the fancy scrubs, they just really appreciate it because it puts a smile on the face, it puts a smile on the patient's face.
And it puts a smile on volunteers' faces too, at a time when it would be easy to be down about the sudden changes in their lives.
Ordinarily, I'm in year 11, so I would be taking my GCSEs at the moment, and I'd also be doing 4 of my sports, one of which training for Team GB for the World Cup. So instead, I've been in pretty much every day.
I live on my own, so I was indoors sort of 23 hours a day. I think if I hadn't had this, I think I would have been in depression by now, to be honest. I'm partially sighted, so I can't do the sewing or the cutting out. But she said there was a job for me.
It's such a nice atmosphere here, and people have like found that they've got things in common, like hobbies that they do together. And it's just really nice. Like, there's such friendships that are going to come out of this, which is
How long healthcare settings will require these extra scrubs is unknown. But whatever happens, they've made more than just clothes.
Do you put that he's completed
and a legacy of togetherness.
known as only miniature and IKEAs?
Well, local bikers have also volunteered to take the finished scrubs to doctors' surgeries, hospices, hospitals. But every time a set leaves, people here are wondering, will it be the